remind you about your childhood, I guess I could try. So, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, by any means, at all. I like to actually think of myself as a conspiracy factist. That's factist, not fascist. Important correction to make. I do believe in the one key conspiracy, the one master of all conspiracies, and that is, science is bullshit. Simple enough. It's a simple enough theory, and hopefully, after I'm done here, I'll give you all something to think about. You'll lie in your beds tonight and you'll open your eyes and you'll think, science is bullshit. I'm not a religious person really as well, so you can't use that against me. I'm not just going to preach to you about God for 10 minutes or so. But when you think about it, what is the difference between the Bible and the Encyclopedia Britannica? Really? What is it? So I'll talk a bit more about this theory. I'll go into some explanation. But first I'd like to ask, are there any aspiring scientists in? Is there anyone studying science at all in here? Yeah? Oh, there are a few. You sir, over here, what's your name? Michael. What do you study? Computer science. Ooh, that's one of the good ones. So I've always wondered about computer science. Where are the chemicals and shit? Are they in the computer? Ah, clever. Is there anyone that's studying any real science here? No. Over there, yes. Hello, I know your name already. Yes. So Henry, what do you study? Chemistry. The science of bubbles. I don't know about chemistry and computer science, but my main gripe really is with biology. Biology is the shittest one, by far. And that's all because when I was in little school I learned about this biology theory called Mrs. Nerg. Has anyone heard of it before? Anyone heard of it? Mrs. Nerg, Mrs. Gren. It's called both things, but if you call it Mrs. Gren, you're probably wrong. So I'm going to go through it. First of all, I should explain for those of you that don't know. Mrs. Nerg is an acronym for the 7 signs of life, and it says that everything that's living displays one of these signs. Not one of these signs, all of these signs. So I'm going to go through and prove it wrong, basically. Beginning with M, Mrs. And this stands for movement. Movement. All living things move. Do they? How about trees? I mean, they sway in the wind a bit, but with assistance from the wind, that's kind of cheating, isn't it? How about old people? They don't fucking move. Everyone has that nan that sits around and watches TV all day. You have to check her pulse every 5 minutes. She's still, working. But no. No one really moves. So that's wrong. Going on to the next letter is R for respiration. Anyone know what respiration means? No? Good, because neither do I. It's a made-up word! It's a made-up word. In fact, I've got, if you bear with me for a moment, the definition of respiration here in my hand. I'd like to read this to you. It's a process in living organisms involving the production of energy, typically with the intake of oxygen and the release of carbon dioxide from the oxidation of complex organic substances. What the fuck? What does that mean? Those are words. They're just clever sciencey words put together that don't make any sense. It's... what? No. No one uses the word respiration anyway. If someone's drowning in a lake, you don't go, look! Help! Help! He can't respirate in that lake! Drag him out! Respirate into his mouth a bit! CPR! No, you don't do that, do you? Respiration is fiction. Going on to S, for sensitivity. Now this is one, generally it's not true, but I myself, alright, I'm a bit of an exception. I'm a bit of a sensitive guy, as you might have been able to tell. I cry sometimes. Something to be ashamed about. I cry. Usually it's movies that set me off. Some movies, Marley and Me, Heart Cheetah, Dog's Tail. Usually it's stuff where dogs die, dead dogs. That really makes me cry. It's why I can't eat Chinese food anymore. But no, sensitivity is funny, is it? Because the world isn't sensitive. Think about it. How can you say that the world is sensitive when there's horrible people in the world? People like Adolf Hitler, like Pol Pot, like Henry. Moving on. Anne. Shit, what's that? Nutrition! Nutrition. I'm not nutritious. No one here sticks to their 5-a-day plan. In fact, no one actually sticks. Does anyone stick to the 5-a-day, honestly? No, nobody does. And no one will at this time of year anyway, because it's about Easter time, which means that everyone's going to be eating lots of chocolate. That's what you do at Easter. It's fine. It's a tradition. But I don't actually know where Easter comes from, when you think about it. The story of Easter. Jesus went away for a while. It wasn't even that long. He died on Friday night, resurfaced Sunday morning. Sounds like a regular weekend for me. Just me trying to make a fucking holiday about it. But I've lost the point of it. Nutrition. No one sticks to it, do they? No one's actually healthy at all. We're all dying slowly, and we're speeding up that process a lot with beer and junk food and cigarettes. So no one actually sticks to being nutritious at all. I'll move on to E. Now this one's a funny one. This one. Anyone know what this one stands for? I do this time. It's excretion. Excrement. Poo. Yes. Poo is funny, isn't it? This is the bit where I have to commend scientists because they stuck a bit of a joke one in there. All right, bit of banter, bit of excrement. Poo's funny though, isn't it? I know a few jokes about poo. Diarrhea. They say it's hereditary, runs in your genes. Sorry about that. I didn't write that joke actually. My friend told it to me. I asked him if he knew any poo jokes, and he told me, "Oh, I suppose I can squeeze one out." Oh! That's the jokes portion of this evening done with. No, what was I talking about? Excrement. Yeah, no, that's silly. Moving on though, the second R is reproduction. Now this one, okay, alright, I have to hand it to them. We do reproduce quite a lot, actually, don't we? I know we do. Even the tiniest, scummiest, dirtiest, disgusting pieces of filth on this earth can reproduce. And I know, I've been to Liverpool. Like, so you can have one, but the acronym's a bit shit when it's just one letter. So I guess you have to kind of create all these made-up other ones. Anyway, I'll finish with G for growth. That's the last one. Is anyone here still growing? Didn't think so. Growth really reminds me of a story, and this can actually disprove the theory of all living things grow as well, this little story. It's a story of when I was little. I was a little boy, 5, 6 years old probably, and I was a bit of a bully in school. It's tough to admit now, but looking at it, I was a bit of a bully. I was taller than all the other kids, that was why. And I'd say all these horrible things to all these shorter than me. I'd say like, nah, taller than you, nah, short prick, And it was all fun and games until a new kid joined who had dwarfism. And yeah, some of you know where this joke is going already. And this kid, I didn't know that he had dwarfism. Have you ever seen a kid with dwarfism? They look like normal kids. Not saying that people with dwarfism aren't normal people. That's not what I'm getting at. But it doesn't look like there's any difference. So I carry on my charade, and short prick, taller than you. And the teacher, oh, she doesn't like that. She pulls me aside, she says, "Kyle, you can't say that to him. How dare you? He has dwarfism. He's never going to be taller than you." And to that, as a 6-year-old boy, I'm quite unfamiliar with the concept of dwarfism, as most of us were at 6 years old. but I wasn't unfamiliar with the concept of dwarves. Because there's one story about dwarves that we all know as 6-year-old little boys and girls. And that story, of course, is Snow White and 7 Dwarfs. It's a bit funny, actually, isn't it? That there's only one story about dwarves, and there's like 20 I can name about princesses, and they're not even real. The teacher pulled me over, she says, no, enough of that. To that, I reply, so which one is he? Oh, she doesn't like that. No, I got detention for quite a long time for that, but I didn't get an answer. So I decided to confront the boy about it. In my childish naivety, I went over to him, I asked, so which dwarf are you? Miss says you're a dwarf, which one? I didn't even need an answer, I could already tell he was fucking grumpy. And that's my scientific theory of why science is bullshit. Thank you very much, I've been
Please welcome to the stage your Compère being Mr. Carl Mackenzie.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Can I get a woo if you'd like to get smashed? Woo! Well, there's some woos going on everywhere. I like this. Mainly from the back of the room, weirdly enough. I heard a big woo over here somewhere. Who was that? Who is that? Come on, who was that? It was him? No. Oh, boy, over here. What's your name, sir?
Mike.
Mike? Yeah, I can tell you're a sesh gremlin already. Did you go out on Freshers Week, Mike?
Yeah.
You did? How was it?
It was great.
It was great, wasn't it? It's really great going out on Freshers Week. But you found that ever since Freshers Week, if you go out, it's still great. It's fantastic, isn't it? Did you go to Halloween? Did you go to Halloween? Did you go out on Halloween as well?
Yes.
Of course I did, Mike. Halloween's great. It's basically Freshers Week, but one night spin. I have a lot of fond memories of Freshers Week, in fact. But most people, they misunderstand Freshers Week. They don't understand what it's all about. Because a lot of people seem to think that it's about connecting with people and making new friends and associating yourself with new people. No, it's not about any of that. It's about throwing your shoes in traffic, boogieing. It's about setting your belongings on fire and boogieing. It's about getting dragged off by the paramedics when you're too drunk and you fighting them off, pushing one of them away, stealing the ambulance and driving it into a nunnery and boogieing. It's fantastic, isn't it? The Freshers Week is so fun, I've got to admit, and I can tell that me and Mike over there are on the same page about that. Yeah, I really like Freshers Week. In fact, I've drunk so much Malibu in Freshers Week that I don't actually think I should be standing here right now. I really like Malibu, it's my drink of choice. Does anyone else have a drink of choice? Do you have drinks of choice over here? What, look at this. Fantastic. That's Vimto? Ulmer's. Cider. Straight from the bull's udders. Does anyone else have a drink of choice? Can you guys drink? No? 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 Okay. Any drinkers over here? Drink of choice. You're holding a lager. Lager is fantastic, in fact. I went to a bar a while ago and I asked the bartender, can I have a beer, please? So he bought me a beer, puts it on the bar and says, lager? I say, yes. So he gets out a massive pint glass. What's a bigger beer? That was the joke. That was what I was approaching there. Go on, we've got to have some more. Shout out a drink to me that you like. Gin and tonic, especially. Gin's fantastic, isn't it? From the Latin generanium. That's also an element. The last one. All kinds of drinks are fantastic though, but I find that the best time to drink is in pre-drinks. We all go to pre-drinks, we all know what pre-drinks are. The best bit of the night, always. In fact, have you guys ever been to a pre-drinks? I know Mike has. Have you ever been to a pre-drinks that is so good it turns into the club? Yes, I can tell by that look, that longing look. Are you drunk?
No.
That's what a drunk person would say. I can tell that we know that pre-drinks is the best part of the night. Because when the pre-drinks turns into a club, it's fantastic. People start showing up. It's great. More people keep coming in. Then people you don't know keep coming in. That's fine too. You're just playing a good old game of Ring of Fire or a good old game of face in the bucket or whatever you crazy kids do. But then more and more people start coming in. The DJ shows up. There's strobe lights everywhere and a smoke machine. It's all getting a bit crazy. I threw up the last pre-drinks that I was at down a wall, and a massive man in a big coat came over to me and grabbed me by the neck and threw me out. It was weird, it was my house. Sorry, Dad. Anyway, pre-drinks is really great, but the best bit about pre-drinks, in fact, is the drinking games. We play a lot of drinking games in my pre-drinks. Does anyone know any drinking games, apart from the two that I just mentioned? No, you don't. It's fantastic. I'm going to teach you some drinking games now, because they're the best. This first one is called the Eiffel Tower. What you do is you lay down like so. You put a funnel in your mouth, and then you put the Smirnoff bottle on top of that. It's brilliant. That's the game. Done it a million times, nothing's ever gone wrong. It's great in France, you know, hence the name. Those French. Don't get me started. Anyway, another game that you can do is hide and drink. Hide and drink is fantastic. Basically, hide and seek. However, everyone's got those people that don't drink during pre-drinks, or they're having a sober night because they've got a 9 a.m. or something like that. So what you do is you bring them upstairs or downstairs, you put them in a closet or under the floorboards. Can't tell you where to put them. That's the end of the game. You put them anywhere, preferably somewhere with a lock. Then you run back downstairs. You're down 3 cans of Foster's, and that's it. Another game you can play, one that I really like, is Spot the Gasoline. What you can do with that one is, say there's 5 of them, you get 5 shots. You pour tequila in 4 of them, then you put gasoline in 1 of them. This is fantastic. Then you all take it in turns. It's Russian roulette, basically. Whoever gets the gasoline, well, they win. That game is a bit old though, because eventually gasoline stops tasting nice. Another game you can do, in fact this one's my favourite. This is called Davina's Fitness at 50 feet. For this one you need to find some scaffolding. The higher the better, and the drunker the better. What you do is you climb up the scaffolding, you watch Davina McCall's fitness hour on your phone, and you try and imitate all the weird positions that she does. Alright, that'll be a great photo. You imitate all the positions that she does, and every time that you cock one up, you do a shot of whiskey. The game ends when, how does that one end again? Doesn't matter. I was playing that once, and my friend was so smashed, he was so drunk. He got halfway up the scaffolding, gets hit by a bus, and, wait, maybe I was smashed. Anyway, drinking games. Yeah, that's all the drinking games I have to teach you. Did you enjoy that? Please say yes. Yes. Great. I like drinking games, but I've got to say, I've developed a bit of a reputation for myself that it's a bit of a drink. Somebody goes out a lot, as you can tell with my friends at drinking games. But I've got to be honest with you guys, the thing I hate the most about drinking lots is probably the crippling self-hatred. But the thing I hate second is the bouncers. Bouncers can be really, really nasty sometimes. Firstly, I don't really understand them, because I've never actually seen one of them bounce before. They don't seem like very bouncy fellows most of the time. But I had an experience with a bouncer the other day, a few weeks ago actually. I was in line waiting outside a club, and there's a girl in front of me. Bouncer asked her for ID please. She says, no. Alright, I'm thinking, okay, maybe she didn't hear him right. He asks again, quite sternly this time. Quite a stern question, not really a question, in fact, it's more of a demand. ID, please. She goes, no. I don't have to prove anything to you. Now, there's not many things you have to prove in this world. But I feel that among those few things, your age to a bouncer is definitely one of them. Now, I don't know. This girl didn't get in, obviously, she was thrown out. I don't know why. Maybe it's because she was too rude. Maybe it's because she was too drunk. Maybe it's because she was 6. I don't know. I used to see a lot of bouncers I worked with them quite a lot, because I worked in a nightclub until recently. And not as a bouncer, as a bartender. It's always puzzled me that being a bartender isn't number one on the list of jobs that make you want to strangle people. Number one, obviously, being dominatrix. But it's always puzzled me because it's such a stressful job. Bloody hell, it was shit. I had to deal with so many drunk people all the time, every day, and seeing people throw drinks everywhere, spill drinks all over the bar. It's so annoying. Until one day I was in the middle of the dance floor, not dancing, working, in the classes, unfortunately, and I took a look around me, and I saw the girl perched over the DJ box, shouting at the DJ for not playing Mr. Brightside 5 minutes ago. I saw a guy kicking a bottle around against the wall like he was playing football, but not. I saw a boy passed out on the sofas by the toilets. Clearly he'd just been to the toilet. His zipper's still open and his knob very much still out. I saw this boy and I thought, this boy is me. So I closed my eyes. I couldn't bear to look on his sad face, a single tear streaming down his face. I thought, this boy, not a day older than 18, hopefully not a day younger than 89, and it's such a sad sight. If I was this boy, what would I want? So, I wore 3 triple vodka coats, watch him throw up down himself and get carried out with the bouncers while they called the police. We're going to go into some improv now. I've got some improv games for you. This first one, we're going to be using your suggestions. But just before that, I'm going to get all of you warmed up because we're going to have to get some suggestions later on. So, maybe you're familiar with improv, or maybe not seen it before, you know what it is. Anyway, it's called improv. And I just want you to shout, improv, improv, like this one. Improv, improv, improv.
I'll within the role of mic stand. Please welcome to the stage, Carl Mackenzie.
Welcome to the comedy show. Have a good old time. I see all your faces and you're all looking fine. You sir in the back there, show me that lovely smile. And you know what. The point is this should be fun. I'm so glad you could see it. Now I'll let you all in on a little comedian secret. It's too late to ask for your money back, especially because this gig was free. Even if you're having a terrible time, you still have to sit and watch me. Watch me do comedy. Do comedy. Yeah! And I give you the impression I want you to have a good time. I really couldn't care as long as I'm making that sweet time. And to think of it, I don't get paid for this. Shit, why am I doing it? Now I care that you're having a good time. Said before this was a lie. I'm going to ignore the looks of hate and rage. Just please don't boo me off the stage. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to need to ask my mic stand to come back. Where's he gone? Oh, thank you. Just stand there and look pretty. You know how. Anyway, actually, no, I'm going to take this. You can stay there. I've been a comedian for a little while now, and it's a pretty demanding job. There have been comedians for centuries. I don't know. Since about the Middle Ages when if no one had any practical skills, they couldn't do anything, but they had a funny enough face, they could get a job. And the same thing applies today, really. Being a comedian is pretty hard though, but what I respect is a comedian with a message, someone that can convey something through their act. And I have a message, but I'll get onto that a little later on. I just want to talk a little bit about some of the comedians that I admire. For example, look at Billy Connolly, a great comedian, and his message is that not all Scotsmen want to beat you up. Another comedian, Michael McIntyre. Fantastic. Are you Michael McIntyre? Yes! No, Michael McIntyre has inspired everyone else in the world that also looks a bit like a potato. And even our compere here, Mike Stand, Jordan Summerfield, he's got a wonderful message that everything's pretty much shit, right? Well, that was the gist of it, I think. But, no, it's pretty hard. But tell you what isn't hard, acting. Comedians for beginners, right? I say that as an actor as well, don't worry. But anyone else who does acting will know that there's a secret to it, isn't it? There's a real secret to it. And the secret is, it's just lying. That's all it is. You just go on stage and you lie. If you're a good liar, you're a good actor. And actually, I've written a song about that because there's really something that you can do to become a good actor, and that's just lie through your bloody teeth. And if you pick something that doesn't mean anything to you, and just pretend that it means something to you, then you can act your heart out. Play the music, please. This is going to be really sad. Be prepared for this. Especially you. When you eat a Jaffa cake, do you bite right into the middle there? It's people like you that spoil it. Eat a Jaffa cake. You gotta eat your way around it, and the last thing you eat's the orange bit. It's a horrible thing that's plagued our lives for centuries. Everyone knows, everyone hates these people that are ruining Jaffa cakes for all of us. I won't stand for it anymore. Neither should any of you. When you eat a Jaffa cake, do you bite right into the middle bit? It's people like you that spoil it. When you eat a Jaffa cake, you gotta eat your way around it, and the last thing you eat's the middle bit. The last thing you eat's the orange bit. The last thing you eat's the orange bit. Now that we're talking about emotions and everything, ignore what's happening right here. Now that we're talking about emotions, we get to the emotional part of the evening. I have some emotions that I'd like to share. My lovely girlfriend is in the audience. Hello. We got together a little over a year ago. Happy relationship and all that, I think. Yeah, I think. But we got together rather instantly, so I missed the whole dating stage of everything. In fact, I've never dated. I've not understood what any of it's really about, ever. I've always wondered what dating is really about. Here, hold this. I've always wondered what dating is really about, because, like I say, I missed it, and you really tend to overthink a lot of things when you're dating, from the very beginning of the process, getting ready, to, going on the date, and then what happens after the date. I've always wondered what it's like, and I think it's probably a little bit like this. Yeah. It's not really like that though, is it? In fact, that was pretty outdated doing that. I just realised that's not what dating's like anymore. Dating's changed. We live in a modern era, a technological era. So I think that now things are probably a little bit more like this. So it's a lot better now, really. 21st century. Everyone's getting laid. Speaking of the 21st century, it's not all great, is it? People have got tremendously shitter, come to think of it. Sorry, everyone in the 21st century. I'm not too. No, but people have changed quite a lot. Because people often think that they can just do whatever they like, and it's really quite annoying. So I've written a song about just giggle. I've written everything so far. Alright. Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. Anyway, I've written a song about why people in the 21st century just you can't say whatever you think you want to say. Please play the music. It's a bit of a happier one. A bit more upbeat. You can sway along if you like. Has someone ever made you feel angry? Made you feel like you wanna scream? But it's inappropriate to throttle them or tell them what you really mean. You can't say, go fuck yourself. It's really rude to say that in public. You can't say, fuck off and suck a dick. Even if someone is really asking for it, don't say, I'll rip off your tits. Someone may be pushed in front of you to get on the bus. You can't say, I'm gonna kill your kids, because society won't allow for it. Have you ever thought about taking a softer approach to things? There are ways to be mad without committing verbal harassment. Just say, excuse me, miss. You seem to have pushed in front of me, but that's okay. And she'll say, I'm sorry, my mistake. And then things are closer to being okay. And then you pull out your knife. Don't let her run away, or you're much faster than her. And now you're stabbing her in the chest. People running, children screaming, you're loving it. You might not think this is the best way to solve the conflict, but you would be wrong, you schmuck, because this way you don't need to say fuck. I don't really know what I was thinking about right now. Sort of went a bit on a tangent there, but I'm glad you all put on brave faces throughout it, especially you, sir. Speaking of brave faces, actually, remember when I was talking about acting earlier and how it's all easy and shit? I don't think I actually finished my my point that I was making there, because I was approaching a point and then I got distracted by the silly song that I wrote. But really, we all act, is my point. We all act every day, because things happen to us, sometimes beyond our control, that we can't stop and we just carry on living. And is it right to just carry on living through things like that? I don't know. Ignore this. Professional. Double professional. Kick the sound desk. No, but people really, they just react to things unnaturally. And it's not anyone's fault. We're all told to do it from a young age. And I've written a song about that, about how it's really easy to just put on a brave face when things are going wrong. Play the music, please. I'll bring it back down a bit. But I'm still smiling. Everything's okay. I promise. When you see your parents die by getting chopped up into a wood chipper, so you have to grow up to be a stripper. When you see your dog explode, that's a problem some of us have to deal with. Little dog chunks hang from the ceiling. But is it right to smile through all of these kind of things that happen to you? Is it right to smile through all the horrible things in your life? Because we're all human creatures and it's fundamental for humans to react to things. Some things happen to us and we can't control them, and it's alright to just let out some emotion sometimes. It's alright to just feel what you're feeling, and no one should tell you otherwise. You should be afraid of what other people say to you. When everything goes wrong, it's okay to react because of it. Not everyone who's crying is faking it. Don't miss the point of this song. Even past the jokes and silly rhymes, it's okay to cry sometimes. And that's the message, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay to cry sometimes. It's okay to cry sometimes. I think it's very fitting that we have Lancaster Mind in today. Please give whatever you can to them because they're a tremendous charity and they do wonderful things. But I wanted to end the evening, because we're coming to a close now, with something a little more upbeat and something a little more happy. So I want to share with you something fantastic that I saw on the internet a few days ago. It's not porn. No, it was something really great. You see, deaf people sometimes can't hear things. Yeah. Deafness. Something that we all kind of take for granted is music in our lives. Love a bit of music from time to time, but deaf people can't enjoy that. And I saw something really beautiful. It was someone doing a sign language dance to a song. And it was for deaf people, so deaf people can enjoy songs. And it was something really moving, something that I wanted to give a try for some reason. So enjoy this. Get the music, please.
crossover gig for roses. Can I get a cheer from everyone from Lancaster tonight? And a cheer from everyone from Yorkin. Just note that down, that's 15 points to York. Roses, of course, named after the war, chocolate. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Named a sporting competition after a war. It's pretty cool though, don't get me wrong, I wish we did it more. But I have a feeling since they've stopped calling wars cool things like the War of the Roses. So in 100 years' time, we're probably going to have sporting competitions at university called Vietnam, Afghanistan, golf. That one kind of works. Because it sounds like golf. But what I'm interested in really is history. Or I say interested in. Until a few days ago I wasn't. But I recently nerded up on the whole War of the Roses situation. I know, I'm a bit behind the times on current affairs. But I'm really interested in what happened. I bet that not a lot of people in this room probably know a lot about the War of the Roses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recap a lot of stuff for you. So here's what happened. You've got Henry VI. Okay, Henry VI is the king. He's from Lancaster, but he's a little boy. Have we got Henry in tonight? Henry is a small boy, so he needs someone to help him out, to advise him, to lead the country, kind of give him the direction that he needs. So that person that he's chosen is Richard of York. You can probably see where this is going, but bear with me, okay? So Henry grows up a little bit, and it's time for him to get married. So Richard says, okay, well, French chicks, they're kind of hot at a minute. But French is in, so why don't you marry one of them? So Henry, King Henry from Lancaster, marries Margaret. Margaret is, well, Margaret. She's beautiful, she's elegant, smart, powerful, and a complete bitch. She is the worst, but we'll get to why. In fact, we'll get to why right now. Because what happens is, as soon as Margaret marries Henry, she convinces him, I don't really like this Richard of York fellow. I know he's been with you through your childhood and everything, something about his face, I'm not into it, get rid of it. So Henry, he doesn't really have any power in this situation. He's only the king, after all. He gets rid of Richard, the man who's cared for him all these years. He gets rid of him, banishes him to a different country. Richard eventually tries to come back. He's like pleading with Henry, please, no, take me back, I'm good for this country. Henry from Lancaster says, okay. Margaret says no. So, Richard banished again. And Margaret puts her good friend, the Duke of Somerset, in his old position. Now you've got to remember, this position, this is leading the country basically. Henry is still quite young, he doesn't know what to do. So the Duke of Somerset is running the country. And he's a complete idiot. A complete buffoon, he doesn't know what he's doing. A complete idiot running the country. Good thing that we have democracy now. That can't possibly happen. Anyway. So, okay, Henry makes sure that Richard of York is exiled again, unfortunately, because of Margaret. And, well, the situation here is that the people of England, they think that Richard of York, he's a pretty good guy, he's done a lot. And they don't really like Henry and Margaret, Somerset as much, because Henry's a child king, he doesn't know what he's doing. Somerset's an even bigger buffoon, he doesn't know what he's doing. Margaret, she's a bitch. So, I want to do, I think, let's do a little bit of role play. So, I would like a Margaret. Can I get Margaret? You there with the bow on. Come on, it's fine. Hello. What's your name?
Elspeth.
Elspeth. It would have been really freaky if you said Margaret. From now on, you are Margaret, and you are the people of England, okay? And it's really easy for you, it's really easy for you, okay? All I want you to do is all point at her and say, Margaret, you're a bitch. Okay? So, on the count of 3, are we all ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Margaret, you're a bitch! Thank you very much, Margaret. Big round of applause, Margaret. Okay, so there's a bit more to this story, but I'll continue with this a little bit later on. Because right now we are going to have the first of our 2 stand-up acts from York here tonight. You heard them very passionately earlier cheering. So please help me welcome to the stage. All the way from York, lovely. Anyway, I think it's time I get back to the history lesson. So just a quick recap. What's happened is Henry from Lancaster is king, Richard from York is his advisor, Margaret is a bitch. Henry marries Margaret, gets rid of Richard, Richard tries to come back, gets rid of Richard again. Now, Richard has this mate called the Earl of Warwick. And the Earl of Warwick is the most trustworthy, the kind of guy you'd want to go for a beer with. The guy that he'll never let you down, he'll never betray you, he's trustworthy. Remember that. It will be important later. But, for now, Warwick's like, mate, I know you're having all these problems in England, Henry and Margaret and all that. I've got a mate called France. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get France and they're going to come over and they're going to kick the shit out of them and it'll be great. So that's exactly what happens. France kicks the shit out of them. And Richard of York returns. He could have the throne if he wanted to. But instead, he says to Henry, who's still king, you know what, I don't want to be king. I don't want to take over. You're king. I just want 2 things. First, I want my old job back. I want to be the advisor to you again. So immediately, Henry has that idiot Somerset killed. And secondly, the second thing that he wants is to be named heir to the throne. Now this is a bit weird. Put yourself in Henry's position here. A guy who said, oh, don't worry, I don't want to take your job, I don't want to take your job, but I want to be in the position where if anything were to happen to you, any horrible accidents like accidentally falling down the stairs or accidentally being throttled in your sleep or accidentally being invaded by France, then I become king, only then. So it's a bit suspicious, admittedly, but Henry says yes, okay, fine, yeah, you beat me, you can be my heir. Margaret is livid. Margaret's having none of this, because she has a son that wants to be king. Well, she wants her son to be king. So, Margaret, she has some friends of her own. These friends, they, how do I explain these friends? They are the most animalistic, ruthless, barbaric individuals on the face of the planet. The Scottish. You know what, I think it's a bit, I think it's time for some role playing again. So, I need a Scotsman. Brilliant! You can stand up there, where you are, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So what I need you to do is I need you to say something Scottish, and the first thing that's come to my head is haggis. So you're just going to say haggis, but also you're going to run on the spot like you're wielding a battle axe. Is that okay? Do you think you can do that? Do you want to practice that? Okay, so all I need is for you to do that, but do it when I put my hand up, okay? And as soon as I put my hand up, that needs to happen, okay? Brilliant. So, I'm thinking, that's your name. What's your name? Gail, brilliant. Gail's our Scotsman. The rest of you again are the people of England, okay? And what's running through the people of England's minds at the minute? Oh no, the Scottish are coming. Okay, so that's what I want all of you to say on the count of 3. Oh no, the Scottish are coming. You're all alright with that? You all do that? Okay. Alright, on the count of 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. about time to bring on my next stand-up. We've had one from York, so now it's about time we have one from Lancaster. Please help me welcome to the stage, Mr. Patrick. Okay, we have one stand-up from York and one stand-up from Lancaster, and I think it's fitting time to go back to the story. So what's happened so far? We've had Henry, Lancaster, King, Richard, York, advisor, Margaret, bitch. Okay? Margaret gets rid of Richard, Richard comes back, Margaret gets rid of Richard, Richard tries to come back, gets his mate Warwick to get his mate Front to come over, invade. They do invade, but Richard says he doesn't want the throne, he just wants to be heir. Okay, then Margaret goes over to Scotland, Scotland comes over, and Scotland kill Richard of York. I know, the main character died. In fact, you would have known if you learned the rhyme for the rainbow in little school. That's a bit of a spoiler, you know. Richard of York gave battle in vain for the rainbow and all the colours. It's a good thing that he did die in vain as well, otherwise we would have had to have Dorange in the rainbow. Yeah. What happened next was Margaret and Henry, they're so happy, they're ecstatic. They decide to have a party. Not just a party, a good old Scottish party. So they go up to Scotland and they go celebrate in Scotland. Meanwhile, Edward arises in London. Edward? Who's this Edward guy? Well, Edward is the son of Richard of York. Yes. Oh shit indeed. And how do I explain what Edward was like? Well, he was handsome. He was handsome, he was hunky, he was brave, a hero. You know the bit in Shrek 2 where Shrek drinks the potion and he becomes a man? Edward, yes. Okay, so you've got this Edward guy, and not only does he have a rightful claim to the throne because Henry's off partying in Scotland, he's also loved by the English people, loved by them so much. So we're going to do another little bit of roleplay. I need an Edward, preferably a very good-looking fellow. Someone, you're a really nice-looking fellow over here. What's your name, sir? David. I mean, admittedly, a bit more like Shrek before the potion. I'm kidding, David. You're lovely. So, all I want is for everyone around here, in fact, we'll start over here and then we'll spread all the way back, is you guys to just shout, Edward, we love you. And then Edward, we love you. Edward, we love you. It's going to carry on. And when we do that, we're going to keep going until I introduce my next act onto the stage, okay? So on the count of three, are you guys all ready? Okay? 1, 2, 3.
Edward, we love you!
Edward, we love you! Edward,
Okay, so we're coming to the end of the War of the Roses now. We're nearly there, but there's a few events left. So just a little bit of what's happened previously. Henry and Margaret, they've gone up to Scotland, they've gone celebrating. Edward, beautiful Edward down here, is taken over London. The people have chosen him as their king. So Henry has to retaliate, doesn't he? Naturally. So what happens is, he stays in a pub in Scotland eating loads of shortbread. But of course he's not allowed to do that because Margaret tells him, no, we must march down to London and take London back. Yes, thank you. She is. And what happens? Henry goes down to London and is killed by Edward. I know. And what happens to Margaret? She's deported out of here! So now, what seems like has happened is Edward is on the throne, he's loved by the people, York have won the Battle of the Roses. Hooray for York! Yeah, that is until a few days later when he dies of pneumonia. Pneumonia? That's not cool, that's not epic, this is an action
action hero. This is a guy who has slayed every threat that has come to him. He has killed kings. You know, trustworthy Warwick from earlier? He betrayed Edward, and Edward killed him anyway. This is mental stuff. Edward has done so much in his life, and he dies of a glorified cold. So now the people of England, they're upset. Beyond upset actually, they don't give a shit anymore. They really don't care who's the king. Let anyone do it, let Jeff be king. Alright, yeah. And everyone's just kind of depressed. So I want to get everyone into this mindset of what all the people in England were thinking at this time. So the only possible thing that anyone could have been thinking is, I'm moving to Wales. So I want all of you on the count of 3 to please just shout, I'm moving to Wales. Please, you're just like the people of England back in the 14th and 15th century, okay? So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Did you say I'm there? I'm there. Oh, okay, yes. I'm there. What? Okay, never mind. But we have one more stand-up act for you tonight. It is the very lovely Lancaster's own. It's 1485. Everyone is dead. Everyone important, anyway. Sorry. Okay. Why am I saying sorry? You're only role-playing as the people of England in 1485. You're not actually them. So it's 1485, everyone's dead, everyone's depressed. All the best characters are all dead. You can tell that George R.R. Martin took inspiration from this for Game of Thrones, really. And, like, you could say winter is coming, but this shit happened in May. So what's going to happen now? No one really cares that much at this point. Everyone's really pooped. But Henry Tudor comes along. This guy, it's a different Henry from before. This guy, they had to trace back Lancastrian descent decades to find someone that had lineage to the throne because everyone else is dead. So this guy, he's like, I'll be king. Everyone's like, fucking go for it, mate. Don't. So Henry Tudor becomes king, and you'd expect him just to pop his clogs like the rest of them, but he did something different. He did something powerful, something respectful. He took one for the team, and he married a York bird. Thus, the houses of Lancaster and York were united as one. And this brought the end to war in England. The biggest civil war, possibly, that this country has ever seen. All the fighting is over. Thousands dead. And now we have a country, more like the country that we live in today. It shaped the foundation for how we live. And how do we in Lancaster University and York University celebrate that? With very intense games of pool. So that's all for the stand-up.
Well, that was wholesome. Speaking of wholesome, I need someone to pick on. You. Yes. Yeah. Hiya. So where were you on Sunday? It's not a police investigation. Hustle. Oh. I was gonna say hustle, or I need to pick someone else. No, okay, so, rehearsal. It's not church, is it? No, so, in fact, I didn't see a lot of you. I'm gonna fucking move this. It's a minefield at the minute. I didn't see a lot of you in church on Sunday, but that's fine, because, you know, you can't all live perfect, wholesome lives. In fact, have we got anyone religious in? Preferably Christian? Anyone in? Oh! This stuff just writes itself. So, what's your name? Emma. Emma. Hi, Emma. And have you been christened then?
Yeah.
Okay, so for anyone that doesn't know, christening is where they get a baby and they dunk it in some water, and if it floats, it's a Christian. That's my understanding of it. So, you've got, I have a mate actually, he was christened recently, just the other week. Usually they do it with babies, but sometimes they do it with adults. And I was asking him, so what's the point in christening? Because I don't really get it, I've never been into that whole shtick. So I asked him, hey, why get christened? He responds, it's so God can witness my initiation into the church congregation. I had to practice saying that a few times. I thought I was going to be really smart with this comeback, and that's, well, I thought God witnessed everything. So, what's so special about this christening of yours? I thought he'd be stumped, he wasn't. He said, well, in fact, you don't need to do a christening in a church for God to watch. You can do a christening anywhere where there's water nearby. So, I asked the only reasonable question that I could ask, and that is, I had a bath last night. Am I christened? To that, he said no, but God was watching. This was really fucked up. Mainly because I had all my best wanks in the bath. Just a reminder that this is a wholesome set. But my point is that the church, they tend to lie a lot. They tend to not be completely honest. I was in town the other day, and near one of the churches it had a big advertisement saying, come join us. What was the wording? It was, no judgment here, everyone's at home. So I'm an open-minded person, I went in, and I was looked at fiercely by some old people. I didn't feel at home at all, to be honest. I would have felt more at home in a men's nudist sauna. You might think, Kyle, that's really weird, but at least in a men's nudist sauna, there's a chance that I might get laid. And they won't judge me there for having my cock out either. But this weird lying advertisement, I wasn't into it. I thought I could probably do this advertisement much better. And I have. So I'm going to need some musical accompaniment. So for this, I need Cesar, please, with his ukulele. So Cesar has God-given musical talent, and we're going to throw it back in his face. Bit slow. Yeah, we'll sing you hymns and tell you prayers and help you get away from all the despair of this world full of greed and lust and broken hearts. Couple things about us you should know before we start. We're all one, we're all made in the image of God. Unless you're different, and then you're not. I hate to say it because it's in poor taste, but Hitler had a point about the Aryan race. Rule 2, the Bible's great, it's the single most important thing we've ever made. With all its outdated teachings, we can answer all your prayers with some boring preachings. If you need to talk, then we're listening. Funerals, weddings and services and christenings, we'll keep on talking even though no one's listening. Come hither, my child, be one of us. We act like God's told us what to do when really we know nothing more than you. We're all stuck in old-fashioned ways, denying evolution and hating the gays. But maybe things will turn around, but we haven't changed in 2,000 years, so why start now? That's right, 2 millennia and we're still here. We've helped many people throughout the years. Though priests have ditched the robes and sandals, we still have child molestation scandals. So there you have it, the Catholic Church. Come join immediately, give in to the urge. Irrationalism, start anew. Come and see if we can corrupt you too. If you need a friend, then come join us. We'll help you get along with everything you need. Don't you worry, we're at your disposal. Come hither, my child, be one of us. We'll tell you a couple hundred stories about Jesus and hope that you're gullible enough to believe us. So, I guess it's not all that bad. We used to fight wars over religion. We fight wars over oil now, so I'm glad we got our priorities straight in the end. That got me thinking, though, about the history of religion and everything like that. Something that's changed quite a lot is the birthing process. Well, actually, maybe not. Babies still come out the same bits and whatnot. But the way that it's all done is completely different. I want to bring your attention to the nativity scene. So, if that happened today, there would be a lot of unanswered questions that would be answered. For example, so you've got Joseph and Mary, virgins, apparently. They hadn't slept with each other, and Joseph buys the excuse of, God impregnated me. It's not my fault. God impregnated. You all know. And that's all well and good. He buys that until the kid comes out looking suspiciously like Steve from her spinning class. Also, it's a bit weird that on the way to the hospital to give birth, they stopped and picked up 3 weird homeless old men to watch. I don't know what that exchange would have gone like. They would have stopped and said, "Oh hi, I know you have your gold and your frankincense and your myrrh, whatever they are, but can I have them in exchange for you to come and watch me pop a baby out?" It's a very personal thing that I don't think other people should be watching. Also, there was talk of angels appearing and flying stars, so there's probably drugs involved. No wonder the baby grew up to have superpowers. That's all I'm saying. But it's not all that bad. I had a religious experience not that long ago. It was a couple of years ago. I was actually involved in a car accident. It wasn't my fault. Just want to put that out there. But we were just, cruising through the back roads in the middle of the night, racing around corners. Racing isn't a bad. That's a bad word to use. Driving sensibly around corners, and not my fault. Let's put that out there again. And a Mercedes came out of nowhere and smashed into us, and it was pretty scary. The guy got out of his Mercedes. He was effing and blinded. He was really angry. And we got out of our car, and the only thing I could say to him really was, "Hey man, calm down, at least you have a Mercedes." He didn't like that. So I took the religious approach. I said, okay, well, you know what, the Lord works in mysterious ways. The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away. And he taketh away lots from you right now. I said that I had a religious experience. Surviving the car accident wasn't a religious experience, it was a minor fender bender. The religious experience was surviving the beating that man gave me that way. But religion, it does have a point sometimes. It's not all bad. And I have a song about that. So, Cesar, can you please play me in? So, there's some sarcasm in this song. See if you can spot it. What's the point of them? What's the use of them? Do I look like I'm going to Jerusalem? What an outdated concept, an ancient tradition that's lacking logic. And how are we supposed to relate to a book that was written before we could relate to each other, accept one another, and understand and live in peace together? What a stupid fucking idea to write those stories about people helping each other, to help us discover how we can live in a world of peace together. And that old lady on her deathbed, feeling fragile, feeling desperate, the only thing that keeps her strong is where she's going after all. Her belief brings her some peace. She'll go to heaven when deceased. Because of that she can be brave. Fucking dickhead, am I right? For the man who's lost it all, didn't know how far he'd fall, tells himself God has a plan for them. It's either that or accept it's only him alone. No one's there for him but God. Fucking pussy, am I right? That's the use for them, that's the need for them. All these stories, you don't have to believe in them. We don't even need the Pope. The important thing's the hope. That's the use for them, that's for the need for them. We don't need anything else. the important things, the hope. And that's what I want to leave you with, ladies and gentlemen. But there's one more thing, actually. I just wanted to... I was looking into all this religion stuff, and I was interested in it. So I took a little course, and in fact, I think I have something over there. Elspeth, would you mind reaching behind you? There's a piece of paper just up there. Yeah, that's the one. Can I just have that? Can I just have that, please? Yeah. Okay, so this is the certificate that I got for passing my most recent course in religion. Should I camera that? So I'm actually qualified to give out christenings now. That's how it works. So I figured it might be fun if I christened someone. And I'm going to christen Cesar. So what I'm going to need, in fact, I'll put this here. So you know, health and safety first and everything. So Cesar, round of applause for Cesar, please. Okay, so all you need to do, you need to stand up. It's okay. Just want to step in front of the mics. Okay, so spin around. Yep. Keep going. The Lord's got to see all these rotations. You've got to say, praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus!
And then just go up to Chloe over there and tell her that you forgive her.
I forgive you.
Look, isn't that wholesome? And now, just need to,
You see.
there you go, have a bit of, just pour some more. And now, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spookums, you're a Christian. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Let's now go Compère this evening, Kyle Mackenzie!
Hello everyone. This is way too short. Okay, so welcome to Joke at the Oak, Freshers Week edition. We are the Lancaster University Comedy Institute. If you're a returning audience member, thank you, welcome back. And if you're a new audience member, welcome here for the first time. And if you just realised you're in the wrong room, sorry. So what we're going to do for you today is just basically a little bit of a showcase of what we do. We're going to have 2 stand-up acts for you, and then we're going to show you a couple of sketches that were featured in our last term's sketch show. Then we're going to take a little bit of a break so you can go get a drink and everything, and then come back for some improv. So I'm not going to waste any of your time because we've got a packed show full of content for you. So I'm just going to start by, I'm just going to do a little bit of a gauge. So I want you to make some noise, please, on the level that you are looking forward to this year at university. Okay? So if you're really looking forward to it, you're really excited, make the loudest noise you possibly can. If you think it's going to be a dud, just a hum or two. 3, 2, 1. Surprised by that. Okay, that's okay. We've got an optimistic audience in. That's good. Okay, but let me hear you make some noise if you are excited for puppies. Right. Well, some people may disagree, but I wouldn't pay £9 grand for a puppy. But I think I'm going to be here. Anyway, I'm going to waste no more time in introducing our first stand-up act of the evening. This guy is probably the nicest man that I know. Please help me in welcoming to the stage, Cesar! A little fun fact about Cesar, he's from Spain. Anyway, we have one more stand-up act for tonight. So if you're excited for the second and final stand-up act for tonight, please make some noise for me right now. Hello everyone, hello, are you excited for Christmas? Yes! Well, that cheer would have been a bit bigger if we were all 6, probably. Because you lose something, don't you? You lose something as you get older about Christmas. And I've identified what that is. Because I've identified 3 harsh realities about Christmas, and I'm going to share them with you. Number 1, Santa, he just ain't real. No matter how hard you try, how hard you wish, how many Coke adverts you see, he doesn't start existing. Second thing is, people actually expect things in return for what you get. What? It's crazy. And the third thing is that Uncle Leonard, you know, when he bought you that PS3 back when you were young, let's just say his intentions were less than pure. And I'm going to expand on some of them, not the third one, because that'll just bring back the crime. But I'm going to expand on some of them, especially the Santa thing. So, it's a bit weird, isn't it, that anyone here ever believed in a big man with a bushy beard who lives up north, who's omnipotent, always watching you, and decides whether you're good or evil. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Wait, you're saying that there's a whole religion based on that very thing? What? There's a lot of comparisons you can draw between Santa and God, actually, when you think about it. Father Christmas and God, rather. Both of them, you'll understand why I had to make that amendment. Both of them have Christmas in their surname. Christ in their surname. Both of them have deep, meaningful attachments to Christmas, and both of them try and flog a bunch of shit to you that you don't really want. Ever since you know that, though, ever since you know that Santa doesn't exist, it's not the same. You lose something. As soon as you know that every 25th of December there's not a home invasion in your home, you lose that edge, don't you? And I'm a man who likes a bit of danger in my holidays. Easter? Wouldn't it be a lot better if we, as a nation, decided to replace a fifth of all chocolate with poison? Halloween! Why do we still do it? Why don't we just substitute it for the much better idea of the purge? Who would you purge?
My old IT teacher.
Same lol. I actually had a bit of a purge-like situation myself the other day. I was in KFC, and I was buying the best of the KFC meals, which is chicken. You're close. Anyone got the best KFC meal? There's a right and wrong answer here. Someone shout, best KFC meal.
Big Mac.
Big Mac! Are you some sort of vegan, sir? No, the best meal is the boneless banquet, of course. The boneless banquet. I see a few of you nodding now. They're like, oh yeah, of course it is. Yes, the boneless banquet. I was walking home with my boneless banquet, and I had to walk through this dingy type alley. And I ran into some hoodlums. Some anarchists, some rapscallions. And one of them shouts to me, "Oi! Shove it up, you bellend!" Now this provoked fear and confusion from me, mainly confusion. Wasn't quite sure what he was telling me. Did he tell me to shut up? Did he tell me to shove it? Or was he implying that I shove my boneless banquet up my bellend? Now, I'm not afraid to admit, I'm quite a novice at shoving things up my cock. But nothing if not compliant. So I went home, gave it a go. The popcorn chicken went up like a dream. It was the strips that gave me a bit of hassle. Good thing I didn't order a zinger burger. Spicy. Anyway, I'll bring you back to the second thing. The second harsh truth about Christmas. And that's that people actually expect things of you. People expect you to buy things for them. You never had to do that when you were a kid, but this happens all the time for me. I'm in a relationship. That's what a relationship is. You have to buy things constantly. Tell you what, do you like being in your overdraft constantly? Do you like throwing money at a wall for no reason? Do you like throwing your money into a pit for the slim chance that someone might want to touch you on the knob? You need a girlfriend. I've been in a long-term relationship for a little while. It's much better than a short-term relationship, obviously. But I'll tell you one of the most clear reasons why a long-term relationship has its benefits. It's because you don't have to come to shit like this and pretend you're having a good time. Kidding, of course. But you gain this sort of comfortability around each other. That you don't have to impress each other really much anymore. You can sit in your pants, watching Netflix, eating some chicken. It's what I like to call the Netflix chicken and pants stage. It's somewhere in between the flirty, romantic honeymoon stage and the tired, angry, let's get an abortion stage. Yeah, I hear some oohs. He said an abortion joke. Cut it out. Anyway, relationships, they were much easier back in the day, weren't they? They were much easier. I remember being in Kid's Kingdom. I emerged from the ball pit. Like Orlando Bloom, emerging topless out of the ocean. I wasn't topless. They don't let you go topless. But just like Orlando Bloom, I still am there. His body, not his face. But I emerged from the ball pit, walked over to the dinner table, sat down. It's Timmy's 7th birthday, and I have my crusty birthday cake in one hand, a Ribena on the rocks in another, and Cassidy comes over to me. Cassidy, the fairest 7-year-old in all the land. And she stands by me, I look at her, we lock eyes, and it only takes 3 words, ladies and gentlemen, for her to swoon for me. 3 magical words. Do you know what those words are? The words are... Tab, you're it. Now, I think it's safe to say, Cassidy and I ended up in the ball pit a little bit later on, holding hands. That's when a member of staff saw me, threw me out. Apparently I'm 21 and too old to be in a ball pit. Yeah, it's okay, I bought her a PS3 afterwards. And Paul Leonard was a big inspiration after all. Thank you very much, I've been Hello everyone! Hello! Cheer! Keep cheering! Keep cheering! Keep the music up, you're ready to get funky with me! Let's turn the music up, you're ready to get funky! Okay, here we go, we're about to get funky. We're about to get funky. Let's get funky, let's get funky. Yes, you came here for comedy, but now we'll see just how you be when confronted with a funky man. I'm here to get funky, let's all touch each other's bodies. Don't, that was just a jokey, not going back to the penitentiary. Today I am feeling funky, so we'll play a little gamey. When I say funk, you say key. Funk! Key! Funk! Key! That was funky and quite groovy. Makes me want to smoke a doobie. Joking again, I don't do drugs. I'm quite happy with this song. He's starting to run out the words that rhyme with funky. So let's start the comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kyle McKenzie! Shit. Funky. Anyway, can I get a cheer, please, for all the funky women in tonight? Funky women! And how about all the funky men? And how about all the ordinary men? Hey! There's a few of us in here. I'm an ordinary man. I'm an ordinary man. I like 3 things: raw meat, vagina. No, those are separate. Shaving my face. On the topic of shaving my face, did you all see the Gillette advert that came out about a month ago? I'm sure many of you did. For those of you that didn't, basically Gillette released an advert that said, hey men, get your shit together basically, stop sexually assaulting women, stop being predators. You can be the best that you can be. That's it, that's the slogan. And, you know, the advert had a lot of good points. I thought it was, you know, very informative. But I thought it was a little bit weird that we're all taking orders from our razors now. I don't know, I think it will be very strange if Dyson Hoovers come out with a campaign next month to stop us all from shitting in the bath. Really, that's not relatable? That was a man thing as well. Where do I stand on it, though? Where do I stand on this? Because it pissed off a lot of people. A lot of men in particular thought, you know, it's demonising men, women are bad too in some ways. So it did annoy a lot of people. Where do I stand though? I'm on the fence, as I am with most things. Because, you know, it had a lot of good things, but I'm not a white knight. I'm not a white knight. I don't put the men into menstruation. Okay, I don't put the lit into clitoris. I put the me into somewhat liberal but fairly tame. It's in there. I was actually watching a YouTube video a while ago. It's a YouTube channel called Middle Ground. Has anyone heard of it? Middle Ground? No, season not. Basically what they do, they take a big social or political issue and they get a bunch of people that feel strongly one way or the other, they put them all in a room and they make them fight until they find some middle ground, so it's helpful. And I was watching this one, it's about feminism and women's rights and women's place in wherever. And what really interested me, one woman, she says, so, this is my woman voice, so, wouldn't it be great, she's also American, wouldn't it be great if, wouldn't it be really great if women ruled the country? Yeah? Here I am in Britain.
And I shouldn't need to tell all of you, but there is a woman ruling our country. And, you know, things aren't going great. We're basically one VNC away from saying, fuck it, we'll just let the Green Party be in charge. It's quite annoying. It's almost as if your gender has nothing to do with how good you are at leading a country. I know, right? Nonsense. Anyway, I don't want to get too bogged down with political stuff, because I know politics it makes people very confused sometimes, it makes people very angry sometimes, but most of all it makes people very sad sometimes. So I'm going to sing a sad song to not make you all sad, but no. Hear the music, please. There's a reason behind this sad song, there's a message here, and hopefully you can find it. I'm sure you will be able to. If you listen to the lyrics carefully, maybe I'll spot it. Yeah, you're stuck in a crack, wishing time would go back. Now you're all left alone with a bottle of Jack. You're watching life pass you by. Everything moving fast and you missed your best chance. Now you're all left alone, wondering what to do next. Feel the passage of time, and no one knows how alone you feel, and nobody questions the pain that's so real. You're searching for something so life can go on. Perhaps you'll find answers in Fortnite, the battle royale, but the battle's in your heart. Fortnite, 100 player madness. Grab some buddies, make a start. Find a new meaning. Feel cherished and warm. Available now on every major platform. 70 million kids play along. How can that many 12-year-olds be wrong? And nobody knows you, hell not even you. Perhaps you can find yourself in Fortnite. An expanding map as you expand your heart. Fortnite. PUBG can eat a dick. We outsold them from the start. Thank you very much. So like most of you, I was once 5. And when I was a young 5-year-old boy, I remember playing with my toys one day, sitting in my room, and my dad comes in. And he says, "Son, it's time to grow up, it's time to stop playing with toys, it's time to start being a man." So I put down my brat's party playhouse and I followed him to the garden. And then he taught me football. Football, for those of you that don't know, is about the manliest thing you can do that's not gay sex. I really cherish that time playing football with my dad. Flash forward 2 years, and I'm in a football academy. Not because I was good enough, but because I was rich enough. And in this academy, they put us into different teams. It was like a tournament. They called my team Manchester United. Look at us now, right? Hey, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I stopped following it at some point. Anyway, there was a tournament and my team lost badly. I was in goal, I let in every fucking goal. I'm just going to ditch the microphone for a bit, I think. I was in goal, and I led in everything. The team that won was a team called Arsenal. More popular, I guess. But the thing is that my name is Kyle Mackenzie, for those of you that didn't get that from the first song. And there was a kid in Arsenal called Henry Mackenzie. Now, I don't know what happened, okay? I don't know, but when they were doing the winners' ceremony at the end, everyone was getting up, receiving their trophies. They brought up all the players from Arsenal, and the last player to be called up, Kyle Mackenzie. Now, I stood up. There are two things that I could have done in this situation, okay? There are two things that I could have done. I could have said, this is a mistake, I'm not on the winning team, I don't deserve this. Or, I could go up and receive my trophy. I didn't turn at all, but I went and got it. Look at it, it's so good. It's got two people playing football on it. It says winner 2005. You guys wanted football to come home last year. I brought football home in 2005. The thing is, while I was getting up and accepting this, I looked out into the audience, I looked out into the sea of kids, and there I saw Henry Mackenzie. So, Henry's looking there. If there's two people that know what's going on right now, it's me and him. Everyone else is oblivious, no one else gives a shit. So, I lock eyes with him, and I'm just looking at this poor kid and I'm thinking, have I just created a supervillain? It seems like it. Anyway, it took me a few more years to realise that football isn't exactly the manliest thing you can do. You know what the manliest thing you can do is? Apart from the thing I said earlier. It's pulling girls. Yay, gonna get a cheer for pulling girls, right? Yeah. Pulling girls is a bit more of an art form than it is an activity. And there's a lot that goes through guys' minds when they are on the pull. And I'd like to sing about that. You can hit the music, please. So for this, I'd like to bring you back in time, back to the 1960s, okay? This is what men used to think when they were, they'd see a pretty girl and they thought, I want some of that. You can click along to this, by the way, if you like. It's a nice song to click along to, I found. And I'm just going to get ready, I'm going to get a character for this one. I'm playing someone else now. More clicking! I got a Cadillac and my hair slicked back. When I walk past the ladies' man, I check out their rack. Cause it's fun to be a macho man and disrespect bras. There ain't nothing that says I can be a curve in the law. That takes me back to the good old days. And the set of rules I always heard my mama say. Never be creepy and don't be a predator. Treat your girl right and then never embarrass her. Don't be check yourself to be a gentleman. Something else, look after them. But who has time for that? Cause I've got a big dick and need the pointed ass. Some girl, I'm the foundation for trying to be a man. Forget the people that out me for the pig I am. And now I know what you think. The song is a little outdated, right? Who drives a Cadillac anymore? So, there were shit men in the 60s, there were shit men in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and all. And now, so, wouldn't it be nice if someone put a modern spin on this song? And by someone I mean me, am I not? So this is what a more modern man would say when we're getting to the mindset of pulling. Turn out to love me, I won't force you, but how about a quick shag? Because nice to meet you for a finger, you like the dick that I put on Tinder. You look really fit, maybe chat to you for a bit, but leave you hanging before long. Sorry, babe, the game is on. Spit on the ground, kick a hobo, fucking hell, another rasbo. Can't blame me, was never taught. I'm not paying child support. That Gillette was fucking lame. I'm a man and I'll never change. Yes, a nice, wholesome round of applause for sexism. Anyway, as I was saying, it's an art form to pull girls because it's something that a lot of people don't consider. And you know what I found? Okay, you're probably thinking, Kyle, you're an advocate for women's rights, you're an enthusiast of musical theatre. There's very little about you that doesn't scream raging homosexual. Okay, fine. But I'll tell you this, if there's one thing that I've learned that girls find more attractive than anything, it's gay men. It's a fact. Because gay men, they tend to be just nicer, they talk to women, they talk about their feelings, they engage them, they listen to them. And sure, it helps if a man goes to the gym, and sure it helps if a man plays football, which is why every time that I pull and brought a girl home, I think it's there, baby. So, yes, pulling girls, you know, it's something that's really to be appreciated. I myself, I've been in a happy relationship for the last 2 years, so I haven't pulled a stranger in at least 3 weeks. But I thought it would be nice. I thought it would be nice if tonight I pulled one of you! Woo! Who's going to be pulled? You. How about you, sir? Would you like to be pulled?
Absolutely.
Okay, you come on stage. Can you come on stage? What's your name? Jacob. Nice to meet you. There you go, Jacob. Just sit here. I'm going to serenade you now in an attempt to pull you, okay? I'd like to call the song. Jacob. Jacob, I can tell by the look in your eyes that you really regret coming to this comedy. Jacob, maybe you'll realize that if you be real nice, I might let you go back to your seat. Stay here. Jacob, prepare to be swooned while I describe you in song to the audience. You have hair and eyes, and the skin on your face is good. I would love to sit with you and have a conversation about the weather. Jacob, I see you have legs. That's really good because people I date usually have legs. I have to know if there's a problem, Jacob, because you're not giving me any signal.
I love you, Kyle.
Fine then. I guess I'll be alone forever. We'll make passionate, sweet love together. I would have given my all to you, but now wanking will have to do. Anyway, something with my stand, I don't want to be misconstrued. I don't want people going away from this thinking, you know, there's that sexist that talks about men the whole time. So I want to end this on a wholesome note. So I'd like it if everyone could gather in prayer. I don't know much about praying, so let's just bow our heads or point to the sky or however you want to do it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. This one goes out to the big man in the sky. Or woman. Dear Lord, or lady, thank you for putting us on this green earth. Thank you for watching out for us, for the sake of all man or womankind. And I know that we are blessed, that's a good word, blessed under your watchful gaze. Amen. Or woman. Thank you very much.